Welcome to Agenda Edina, a program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. As the 2019 election draws near, the Edina Community Library recently hosted a kickoff event celebrating 100 years of women's suffrage. Edina TV's Jay Ness takes us inside the exhibit created by the League of Women Voters Minnesota.
100 years, it wasn't that long ago that we could not vote.
I think it's very important to know all of this history.
I think the exhibit's beautiful, and I'm glad it's out in the public.
The state's League of Women Voters have created a touring exhibit recognizing the history and ongoing mission of the organization.
We actually have a year full of events, and this is the kickoff here in Edina.
It's just a very nice testament about the work that the League does for women.
A testament dating back a century, prior to the 19th Amendment being established, giving women the right to vote after a 72-year struggle.
This is a lot of information, and I wish I had talked to my grandmother about her recollection, because she was one of the first women voters.
To read about what was going on in Minnesota in the course of the last 50 years. That was a lot of good information to me.
I haven't seen an exhibit like this anyplace else. I hope it goes somewhere permanently.
And the exhibit serves as a reminder to voters that democracy depends on participation.
You see some of the names on the historical presentation that we have here of some of women voters that were members who ended up in legislative office.
I mean, what would we be if women couldn't vote? Where would the candidates be?
I've seen people come through and look at the exhibit. This is still going on. This kind of work in protecting the vote and protecting democracy and citizenship is ongoing.
So many people are so ignorant of history in general. And this is an important part of history.
It's profound in the way of knowing that people who are still alive today were not able to vote at one point in their life. And I'm learning more and more about the work that was done by women and men before us to make sure that that right to vote was honored for all genders.
I don't think I've seen any organization that's more effective delivering democracy for all, and we're so pleased that you take the role you do in our community.
Now that the display is accessible to the public, Oberly is hopeful that the exhibit inspires people to continue fighting for voting rights.
We can't lose track of unfairness. Recognizing women's suffrage, it's bigger than women's suffrage. It's important in and of itself, but it didn't end 100 years ago. It was just the beginning.
I'm Jay Ness, Edina TV.
As the final part of this series of commemorative events, the Edina League of Women Voters will host a Women's History Trivia Night at Poor Richard's Common House in Bloomington on Thursday, November 7th at 7 p.m.